having a happy dance.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, so that looks really great. I mean, it's hot. It's where we want it. It looks really good.
Okay.
So, when you got your suspected ovulation, you're going to wait about 2 weeks after that date, and then you're going to, you'll either, have a period, or, you can check your pregnancy test if you haven't had a cycle, or, so you start your cycle by cycle day 35, go ahead and take a pregnancy test.
Okay.
And then you'll just call us just with the outcome, whether you get a positive pregnancy test or you start your period, just whichever one. Just call and let us know, and we'll kind of give you instructions as to what to do either way, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, continue to do your happy dance because you did a good job.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay guys, so as you just saw at the beginning of this video, that was the results and the good news that we got about a week ago from our doctor. I am on the letrozole 5 milligrams. I take 2.5 milligram tablets a day, and last week we did the video and posted it, or a week before that we did the video and we posted it last week.
Yeah, actually about a week and a half ago or so.
About 2 weeks ago, we, told you guys that we would let you know how the medicine was working for us and if I ovulated, and I did. Unfortunately, we did not end up pregnant with that cycle, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But we're on to cycle 2. Today is October the 5th, and I just finished my last dose. I just finished my last dose yesterday, so in about 2 more days I will get to start using my ovulation tests, and hopefully this month I'll ovulate again. Hopefully on the left side, because as far as we know, my right tube, I think I said this as well, is blocked. So we just need me to ovulate on the left side every time.
I know that we kind of laid out a little bit of the doctor that we're seeing and us. We got together probably about 3 weeks ago, and kind of officially laid out like a treatment plan. And in the previous video that we posted, we kind of talked with you guys a little bit about that, just where we plan on going with our experiences this past for the first cycle, being so positive, and that we got an ovulation for the first time ever that we know of. We talked a little bit about it. We're not, we haven't been in contact with our doctor yet, but between the two of us, we've considered asking him if maybe we can move our timetable from 3 months on the letrozole to 6 months on the letrozole. Because if you've watched the previous video, the plan initially was for us to do 3 months on the letrozole, and then sometime either in late December, early January, they were wanting to do a minimally invasive, basically exploratory surgery into her right ovary, just to see exactly what the extent of that damage from her appendicitis when she was a young girl, just to see what the full extent of that damage is, and if there is anything they can do to maybe open that passage back up to allow for a more consistent bodily function from month to month. But for us, since we got a positive ovulation this past month rather, we kind of talked about maybe just pushing that more out to 6 months to give ourselves a bigger trial basis, because if we can get positive ovulation, every month, what that tells us is either that tube isn't completely blocked and there's still eggs that are getting through, or that her body has just sort of adapted and she's just ovulating on the left side every month, and maybe we don't even need to go in and do that surgery. So 3 months is a little bit of a small sample for us to know that. 6 months gives us a little bit more information. And when we initially had that consultation with our doctor, he wasn't exactly like, oh yeah, you know, if after 3 months you should definitely do the surgery. He was just sort of like, if after 3 months, you know, you're still feeling a little bit, you know, uncertain, or I'm trying to think of a good word. Depressed isn't the right word. Maybe discouraged. Maybe discouraged is the right word. If you're feeling a little bit discouraged after those 3 months, we can go in, we can gather more information, because he was like, the more information we have, the better it is, because that expands our treatment options. So we've talked a little bit about that. The next consultation that we have with our doctor, will probably bring it up and update you guys on, you know, whether or not we decide to stick with 3 months or move it back to 6 months, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop, because you know, that's what we do this for, is to maybe help other couples that are experiencing similar situations and maybe feeling a little bit frustrated, kind of help you guys maybe feel like you're not alone out there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a pretty short update, but we were really excited at the fact that we got a positive sign this month. We thought we would want to share that with you. So
I will say, and I think I mentioned this to you, I don't know. I know I did my mom. Normally I spot like 3 days before my period shows up, and that didn't happen this month. It was just like, I want to say it was 15 days, like to the day right after I ovulated. I just like, bam, started my period. There it was. So I talked to the nurse about that a little bit, and she seemed like that was a really positive thing. Like my body was kind of adapting to the medicine well, and like maybe my hormones were starting to level back out, because she said something about when you're not ovulating and your progesterone levels are too low, that can be what causes that spotting before you start your period. Not always, obviously, but for me, that's what she said was causing that spotting before I would start my period. So yeah, other than that, like, I didn't have, everything else was the same. I cramped the first day. After that, I was fine. I bled heavy the first day, and then after that first day, it just kind of died off. But other than just I didn't spot this month before I started my period, I had no changes in that. I was a little moodier a couple days before my period. That was
yeah,
grumpier.
I just on the basis of timeline, I think that doesn't really have anything, or I wouldn't think that would have anything to do with the letrozole. I think that might just have more to do with her body feeling vastly different.
Because my body's obviously doing what it's supposed to be doing now.
But
so.
for the first, X amount of years of her life, it hasn't been doing what it was supposed to be doing. So she's, feeling some changes going on, as far as obviously going from, some light spotting to just like, oh, hey, by the way,
I'm here, surprise,
Merry Christmas. That would put me in a foul mood. I'm just, saying.
I just know that, like a couple days before, I felt so bad for my kids and so bad for Miss Christine, because I was going in and she would just look at me and I would just be like, no.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those days. We're not doing this today.
There was probably a series of maybe 3 or 4 days in a row where she woke up in a bad place.
We'll see how I do this month, though, because this was kind of a crazy month for us. That's kind of why it took us so long to do this update and get it up to you guys. My mom had to have her thyroid completely removed Friday, the 29th of September, and we found out probably about 5-ish days before that his mom, on the same day, was having an arteriogram. And so my mom was at the hospital in downtown Chattanooga, and his mom was up at the hospital up by the mall, And so they were in completely opposite directions of each other, about 20 to 25 minutes depending on traffic, like in the opposite direction. So that was like a really early morning. I went ahead, I had the day off, and he got the day off, fortunately. But it was just like I still had to get up at 5. I went ahead and went into work to help Christine set the room up for about an hour. We immediately took off to the hospital and saw his mom before she went back, and then straight over to my mom's hospital and saw her. And then my mom ended up staying the night in the hospital, and me, Tyler, and my little sister had to, well, we didn't have to, but we volunteered as tribute to stay the night with her. So we ended up, he ended up on a hospital floor. I kind of ended up just sitting up all night with her, and my sister was in the little reclining chair that they have. And then luckily his mom got to go home. All was well with her, no blockages or anything. And my mom's doing good. You know, just in case y'all wanted to know. She's healing. She'll be out of work for at least all next week, if not maybe a little longer. But so I apologize for this update taking so long. We've had a
crazy
weekend.
Yeah,
because this week's over. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
And then luckily, thank the good Lord above, I have a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm exhausted. He's exhausted.
We've been pushing pretty hard over the past 2 or 3 days to go to bed early. Been feeling more and more old. She's been consistently like in bed and asleep by like 9:45 the past 2 or 3 days.
And I don't know if that's helping or hurting anything.
I feel like it's got to be helping, personally.
Oh.
But also, and I'm just going to throw this out there for those of you who have been watching videos with Karina regularly and are excited to see more of her posts. She'll probably edit this out. If she does, it's fine. But it was her birthday 2 days ago, Tuesday, October 3rd. She turned 23 years old. It was super exciting. If you guys are interested in knowing what I did for her birthday, drop us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to hear, what you'd like to see, because we had a pretty fun night.
It was really fun.
Because we'd be happy to tell you if you're interested in knowing. If not, no worries.
Yeah, if you don't leave us a comment, we're just gonna keep it to yourself.
Yeah, it'll just be our little thing.
He took me out to a place that was
really, really fun.
Really fun. Yeah.
So it was a cool thing. But anyway, for those of you who might be viewing this for the first time, I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who've been viewing with us for a while, thanks for watching again. Subscribe, leave comments, let us know what you like, what you don't like. We want to keep putting out videos to tailor to what you guys want to know, what you guys want to hear. We'll tell you our life story if you want.
Yeah, we will.
But for now, bye.
Bye.
Ground up, for worse or for better, and I will be all you need. Beside you I'll stand, through the good and the bad. We'll give all that we have, and we'll build this love from the ground up. This life will go by in the blink of an eye, but I wouldn't want to spend it without you.